Hey gang, I'm Fahaam, your financial freedom guru. Let's turn your dreams into billionaire success stories. Today we're diving into the fascinating journey of Françoise Bettencourt Meyers, the richest woman in the world, and one of the most influential figures in global business. Her story is not just about inheriting a massive fortune, it's about legacy, responsibility, strategy, and the incredible rise of a family empire that turned beauty into billions. And what makes it even more inspiring is how her life mixes wealth with humility, intellect, and philanthropy, showing us that the billionaire journey is not only about money but also about meaning. Born in 1953 in Neuilly-sur-Seine, France, Françoise grew up in a world where success and ambition were already woven into the fabric of her family history. Her grandfather, Eugene Schuler, had founded L'Oréal in 1909 with a simple but powerful vision: to create innovative beauty products that would change the way the world looked at cosmetics. What started as a small operation with hair dye formulas evolved into the largest cosmetics company in the world, dominating everything from skincare to hair care, fragrances to makeup, with brands like Lancôme, Maybelline, Garnier, Kiehl's, and of course, L'Oréal itself. This was the empire that Françoise would one day inherit, but her journey to becoming the richest woman on earth wasn't just a story of inheritance. It was a story of resilience, challenges, and staying true to her values in a world that constantly tests billionaires. Françoise is the only daughter of Liliane Bettencourt, who was herself one of the wealthiest women in the world until her death in 2017. Growing up in such a powerful family, Françoise didn't seek fame or glamour the way some heirs might. Instead, she chose a quiet, intellectual path. She was deeply interested in literature, philosophy, and religion. In fact, she became a published author, writing books on subjects like Greek mythology and Christianity, showcasing her curiosity for knowledge and her introspective nature. This set her apart from many wealthy heirs who often chase attention or extravagance. Françoise preferred libraries to limelight, and her pen became her voice long before her fortune made headlines. But despite her love for writing, she was inevitably tied to her family's empire. Her mother Liliane Bettencourt had a long history with L'Oréal, but in her later years, controversies surrounded her, particularly involving the so-called Bettencourt affair, a scandal involving family disputes, politics, and inheritance issues. It was a turbulent time, and Françoise found herself in the middle of it, fighting to protect her family's legacy and to shield her mother from manipulation by opportunistic outsiders. This showed the world that Françoise was not only intelligent but also fiercely protective of her family's interests. She was not just an heiress waiting for her fortune, she was a guardian of the empire. When Liliane Bettencourt passed away in 2017, Françoise inherited her mother's fortune, instantly becoming the richest woman in the world. But what's incredible is how that fortune has grown under her stewardship. L'Oréal is not just a cosmetics company, it's a global powerhouse. The demand for beauty products has only skyrocketed in recent decades, driven by growing markets in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, and by younger generations embracing skincare and makeup as part of their everyday identity. As the largest single shareholder of L'Oréal, Françoise has seen her net worth rise to over $90 billion, and at times even cross $100 billion, depending on market fluctuations. That makes her not just the richest woman, but one of the richest people on earth, period. But the growth of her wealth isn't just because of L'Oréal's products flying off shelves worldwide. Her family also runs Téthys Invest, their private investment firm, which holds stakes not only in L'Oréal but in other sectors too. Through careful management and diversification, the Bettencourt family has ensured that their fortune is not overly dependent on one industry. This is a lesson in wealth building. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, even if that basket is a golden one. By investing in multiple avenues, Françoise and her family safeguard their fortune against market volatility and ensure long-term financial stability. Now, what makes Françoise particularly fascinating is her personality. Unlike many billionaires who live in the spotlight, she remains very private. She avoids flashy media appearances, rarely gives interviews, and leads a quiet life dedicated to her passions: reading, writing, music, and philanthropy. And speaking of philanthropy, her impact is remarkable. After the devastating fire at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris in 2019, Françoise and her family pledged a massive donation of €200 million for the restoration of this iconic landmark. That gesture wasn't just about money, it was about cultural responsibility, about preserving history for future generations. Through her foundation and personal donations, she also supports scientific research, education, and humanitarian causes, proving that her wealth is not just stored but shared. Her story also teaches us about resilience and staying true to oneself. Imagine inheriting not just money, but also the responsibility of leading one of the world's most iconic companies, facing scrutiny from the press, rivalries in business, and the weight of expectations from millions of shareholders and consumers. It takes incredible strength to carry that legacy forward. Françoise didn't need to be loud or flamboyant, she let her decisions, her values, and her quiet influence shape her journey. For young entrepreneurs and dreamers, there's a lot to learn from her billionaire path. First, legacy matters. What her grandfather built is still thriving more than a century later because innovation never stopped. L'Oréal invests heavily in research and development, constantly creating new products and adapting to global trends. Second, family governance matters. Françoise protected her family's assets during turbulent times and ensured the company stayed strong. Third, humility matters. She has all the wealth in the world but chooses simplicity, reminding us that true strength doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers. When we talk about financial freedom, many imagine quick riches or overnight success, but Françoise's journey shows the importance of patience, of building a foundation that lasts for generations. Her grandfather laid the bricks, her mother expanded the empire, and Françoise fortified it, ensuring it will stand tall for decades to come. This is how true generational wealth is created, by vision, by protection, by innovation, and by responsibility. Imagine the contrast. On one hand, a woman who could buy anything in the world, yet prefers quiet reflection, writing books on religion and philosophy. On the other hand, a global empire touching billions of lives, from a teenager buying their first lipstick to a professional investing in high-end skincare. Françoise is at the intersection of both worlds, proof that you can be immensely wealthy without being defined by wealth alone. So what can you take away from her story? That wealth should be built with intention, not just ambition. That investing in innovation and diversification is key. That humility and responsibility can be as powerful as boldness and aggression. And that the real meaning of financial freedom is not just to have money, but to use it in ways that create impact, preserve culture, and inspire generations. Françoise Bettencourt Meyers didn't ask to be the richest woman in the world, but when destiny placed that crown on her, she wore it with quiet dignity. Her story is not one of glitz and glamour but of legacy and learning, of family and faith, of billions that mean more than numbers on a screen. It's a reminder to all of us that financial freedom is not just about wealth, it's about what you do with it, how you protect it, and how you pass it on. Her journey shows that being a billionaire is not just about enjoying luxury but about embracing responsibility. And in a world where fortunes rise and fall overnight, Françoise Bettencourt Meyers stands as proof that true wealth is built over time, nurtured with patience, and carried with humility. So as you chase your own path to financial freedom, remember this story. Whether you're starting a small business, working on your investments, or dreaming big about the future, think like Françoise, protect your legacy, diversify your wealth, stay humble, and give back when you can. That's how you don't just become rich, you stay rich, and you make the world richer too. And that's the incredible journey of Françoise Bettencourt Meyers, the richest woman in the world, the quiet guardian of a beauty empire, a thinker, a philanthropist, and a billionaire who shows us that money, when combined with wisdom, can truly change the world.